We go? Okay, now we're going to talk about consumer and producer surplus and how price controls affects the consumer and producer surplus. We know if the market is allowed to do its own thing, oops, forgot my price, okay, that in equilibrium, consumer and producer surplus is going to be maxed out, right? Now, these people up here on the demand curve, all right, they were willing to pay more, but they're going to get it at a lower equilibrium price. They're stoked. That's where they get the consumer surplus. These producers down here, they were willing to sell for a cheaper price, but they get the higher equilibrium price. They're stoked. That's their bonus. Now, check it out over here. Here we got a price floor, right? Well, there's no price floor yet, but right now let's say that this is the equilibrium for minimum wage workers or low skilled workers is better. So we have low skilled workers over here. The market says you should get paid this, and this is how many workers will be bought and sold, for lack of a better term. All right. However, even though this might not be the fairest wage, all right, we know that consumer and producer surplus is maximized when the government stays out of the market. Well, people got to eat, so the government, in their infinite wisdom, said, this wage is too low, people. We got to have a higher minimum wage. All right. So in order for a minimum wage to be effective or binding, it needs to be set above the equilibrium. All right, if it's set below the equilibrium, market forces will just push the prices back up to equilibrium anyways. So we have a price floor now. All right, check out what happens. Well, we know a price floor, the minimum that now you can pay your workers, is going to result in firms wanting to hire less workers and more potential workers getting off the couch going, I'm going to want to work for higher wages, bro. Right? So now you have a surplus of workers. Also, notice, before the price floor, the market was employing this many workers. Now this will be the amount of workers hired. All right, you can want to work all you want, but ultimately the demanders here determine how many workers get hired. So, what's the result of a minimum wage? A surplus, i.e. unemployment. All right, now, let's check out what this does to consumer and producer surplus. Well, the wage is higher, so that reduces consumer surplus. Who are the consumers here? Firms. Their firms' surplus goes down. All right, but we know that the producers, the workers, their producer surplus increases, right? As we would think, when the price goes up, when the wage goes up, producers, workers, gain more surplus because some are willing to work at lower wages and get paid a higher wage. However, even though the price shifted, all right, we don't have a maximization of surplus anymore. We have dead weight loss, all right? Where did the dead weight loss come from? Well, remember, there's a bunch of people who want to work who can't get hired. All right? So these people are still willing to work, but they're not going to get hired. So the surplus, the dead weight loss, the loss of surplus comes from the fact that I'm not going to hire as many workers as I would have in a competitive market. Okay, hopefully that helps. All right, ready?